Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation homebrew news and much, much more. So recently, I have been playing with the PlayStation 2 and looking at all kinds of ways to run homebrew on it. I created a video where we were able to load backup games off of an SD card with a special memory card. I'll put a link to that in the description below. I also made a video on how you could use your PlayStation 2 Phat with the network adapter and an IDE hard disk drive in order to run backups. I'll put a link to that one as well in the description below. And so what I've recently ran into was that I ordered a set of memory cards, which were 128 megabyte memory cards that looks just like this right here. And I found out that these cards, you could not install FreeMcBoot on them. And the reason that you couldn't install FreeMcBoot on them is because they did not have MagicGate technology on there, which is what FreeMcBoot uses in order to run the exploit. So I looked around and tried a number of different options to try to figure out a way that I could format this 128 megabyte cheap knockoff card in order to run backups. Well, I found a solution and I thought I would share it with you just in case maybe you bought a couple of these cheap memory cards off of AliExpress or somewhere like that and would like to use them to obviously boot OPL instead of doing something such as running FreeMcBoot off of another memory card and then swapping out with the cheap memory card once your game loads. So if you are interested in using a cheap or a knockoff memory card to load OPL, well, then I have an answer for you. Let's go ahead and let's get started. So we are going to make use of this project right here, which is just simply called OpenTuna. So it says, what is OpenTuna? It says OpenTuna is an open source version of Fortuna based on reverse engineering. It is compatible with each PS2 console, starting with the 18,000 model all the way up. And it turns out that almost all PS2 consoles are hackable this way. An additional advantage is that OpenTuna does not require MagicGate compliant memory cards. So there is a little bit more information that you can read through if you would like to, as well as there is a number of different videos, and for the most part these are in Spanish and Portuguese. There is this one right here in English, and obviously the video that you're watching right now. Underneath download here, I'm just going to go ahead and click right here for the alternate download link, and you should do the same. And once you have done that, go ahead and insert an empty FAT32 USB drive into your computer. Okay, so I have went ahead and I have extracted the zip file. And obviously you can come in here and you can take a look at the documentation here, which basically just lets you know that you can do this manually if you would like to, or you can come to this ELF file and just simply run this ELF file for an automated installer. What we're going to do is we're going to just simply take this ELF file right here and we are going to copy it. I'm going to go to my USB drive here and I am just going to simply paste it. And that is pretty much everything that we're going to need to do on the PC. Now, before we get started, you will need an initial way to launch Homebrew on your PlayStation 2. And in my example, I am using an existing FreeMcBoot card that I already had. So you will need some sort of way to run ELF files on your PlayStation 2 in order to run this installer to create the memory card. Let's go ahead and jump over to the PlayStation 2 and take a look. Okay, so over on my PlayStation 2, I've taken that USB drive, and I have inserted that into one of my USB slots. In slot 1 memory card, I am using FreeMcBoot, which is what you see right here. And then secondly, in memory card number 2, I have that cheapo 128 megabyte memory card that I got from AliExpress. So now let's go to where it says Launch ELF, and we are going to take Circle for the file browser, and we're going to go down to where it says Mass here and press Circle again, and there it is, OpenTuna installer.elf. We are going to press the circle button on that. Okay, so it says here this will install OpenTuna on the memory card, and right now it is thinking that slot 1 is the one that we want to install it on. That is not the case because slot 1 is FreeMcBoot. So you could either just go ahead and swap those cards around, or you can press the select button or L1 to change to slot 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press the select button here, and now mine is on slot number 2. So in order to install it, I'm just going to press the X button. Okay, and so now it is installing. So it just says, please wait here. And at least when I did this before, it really didn't take too long. Okay, so installation has been completed, and it does say press start to exit. So let's go ahead and press start now. And this just brings us back to FreeMcBoot. So what we need to do now is to go ahead and power down your PlayStation 2 and swap memory cards. So take out the FreeMcBoot card and use the 128 megabyte or whatever cheap memory card that you got or that you just installed OpenTuna on, and put that in memory card 1. One other thing that you might want to do is to go ahead and connect a USB hard disk drive to your PlayStation 2 with a couple of games on it to test. I'll go ahead and I'll do that now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you reboot your system, it will look as if nothing is actually happening. But if you go into your browser and then into the memory card, you will see this screen right here. And as you can tell up at the top, this is 128 megabytes showing as free. There is an OpenTuna apps, and then there is this other icon that you cannot see. So if you do want to load or to launch other Homebrew application, then you can trigger that simply by pressing the circle for the back button and then holding down the back button as you see a black screen. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So I'm going to press circle and then circle again, and now I'm going to hold down the circle button, and there we go. We have launch ELF. So we're able already to go ahead and launch this application, which will allow us to run any sort of ELF file that we would like using just our OpenTuna application. Now, if we wanted to launch the OPL or the Open PlayStation Loader, well, we wouldn't have needed to hold down any button. So we'll take a look at that in just one moment. One thing that I did want to show you was that if you go into memory card 0, which is the OpenTuna card, and you go down to apps, you can see that the Open PlayStation Loader is just right here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's reboot our console yet again to load OPL. Okay, so you will need to trigger this every single time by going into the browser here. So let's go into browser and let's go into the memory card. Again, you will have to trigger this way, and let's just press circle to go back, and then just one more time pressing circle to go back. Don't press anything here, and it should automatically load our Open PlayStation Loader. Okay, there it is. So let's go to settings here, And let's scroll down just a little bit and let's go to where it says USB device start mode. And I am just going to turn that to auto. And then for the default menu, I am going to put that on USB games. I'm going to select OK here. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and select Save Changes. Now that will write that where we don't have to configure that each and every time. Okay, so those settings have now been saved to our memory card. I'm going to hit circle to go back. And now I'm going to press circle again. And there is all of my games. So these games are off of a USB drive that I do have attached to the PlayStation 2. And let's just go ahead and select 13 and press the run button here. And our game should now run using OpenTuna with a memory card that is not FreeMcBoot. And there it is. Our game is loading up. We will press the start button here to begin. We're going to create a new profile here, and we're just going to leave it with the default name, and let's press save profile. And now is the test to see if it is able to save in our memory card that is actually 128 megabytes instead of the 8 megabytes that it's shown on the screen here. I'm going to select yes there, and it says saving data, and the save is successful. So now you can go about and you can enjoy running something such as OPL or Open PlayStation Loader without using FreeMcBoot. How cool is that? All right, so that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out!